We're delighted this evening to be joined by our friends from the Blackstone area. We have Mark Mandeville, Raianne Richards, and their two cohorts from the band, Peter and Doug. And they're going to be here this evening playing a complete variety of instruments. As you can see, they're all lined up here. And we're thrilled that the Cultural Council in Southbridge has once again funded and sponsored this program, as they do for many of the activities that we have here at the library. So I'm hoping that the band are going to do a lot more talking about who they are and all their work. A lot of their material is original, which I think is really unique and very nice to be a part of new material being showcased. And maybe they'll take some questions at the end as well. But I would like you to give a Southbridge warm welcome to Mark Mandeville, Raianne Richards, Doug and Pete. Thank you.
Hi. Hi. You guys are much happier in here, I bet, right now, because it's hot outside. And we are too, because this is the time of year where we perform outside a lot. Actually, Pete on his way in said one of the commons around here has a "don't all get up and leave." There's a big concert happening outside somewhere, and I would hate to be them. This sounds hot. I mean the musicians too, because playing outside is it's difficult, especially when you're acoustic musicians. I don't think you came here to listen to us complain a whole bunch, although we are going to do our fair share of complaining about stuff. As long as it takes.
I think you can handle it.
We just were in the studio last weekend, starting to work on a new album that we're really excited about, so we're going to start with a song from that right away. And the song is about being patient. And sometimes we're, I think, impatient people. Because some things, especially the really good things in life, take longer than we're able to wait for them sometimes.
For example, last weekend we worked on 3 songs. It was 14 hours in the studio.
Ooh.
For just 3 songs.
And then our engineer left for California, and our producer is buying a house, so we won't even get to even listen to what we did until sometime late August. So this is a theme we have.
Musicians are very patient people.
So this is called As Long As It Takes. Stay up all night, drinking that wine, and dreaming of what could have been. It's deceiving at times, the trick of our minds, that the outcome indifferent. Was it left or right? Dark is the night, and how many choices are made? Like the grass in a bowl, the countless stories untold that could have turned out some other way. We've been at this for a while, just as long as it takes. If the lessons of the past would just show clearly in the way that every stone cast hadn't meant to make it take so long, it takes so long, it takes so long, so long. wishes burned just as bright. Another one-hit wonder, another stolen thunder. It's high time that another light did shine. We've been at this for a while, just as long as it takes. If the lessons of the past just show clearly in the wake, then every stone cast and meant to make takes so long, it takes so long, it takes so long, so long, and it takes so long, it takes so long, it takes so long, so long.
Great.
Can you guys hear everything good?
Yeah.
Nothing's too loud or too quiet?
We try not to bring a lot of amplification in here today. Mostly because Doug and I are teaching a rock band camp at the school we work at, and the kids are exploring new territory and volume. We've had to wear earplugs all week. They're playing and starting at 10 a.m. at 11 on their amplifier.
Yeah, I asked them how today went, and they said loud. It was loud.
They're playing very well. I mean,
Yeah, they're covering a Yes song, right?
they're doing a Yes song.
A Yes
If you know the band Yes, it's like a crazy prog rock band. It's good stuff. And they're playing it very well. It's just extremely loud. And yeah. So I thought a nice quiet evening of folk music. Enjoyable for me at least. Alright, this is on an album we put out in 2014 called Hard Times and Woes. There'll be hard times, there'll be woes along both sides of the road. There'll be times when giving up seems like the ending always told. Be it heaven or be it gold, to quench the thirst inside your soul. May faith stay in the saddle as you ride off in the morning. There's a way, there's a means, you must take the reins and ride. Though your horse might be a wild one, you hold on tight. Be it tame, be it mild, you must take the reins and ride. Clench your fists onto the bridle and hold on tight. When the sun flares down and burns your skin, when the dust kicks up and clouds rise, when the wind blows sideways and the night falls cold, when your heart hangs heavy and sinks down low, there'll be hard times, there'll be woes along both sides of the road. There'll be times when giving up seems like the ending always comes. Be it heaven or be it gold, to quench the thirst soul. May fate stay and settle as you ride off in the morning. Raianne and I just got done doing our 8th annual Massachusetts walking tour. The 8th time we walked across the state of Massachusetts and organized free community concerts in support of the arts and to help raise awareness of trails throughout the state. We walked to each and every show with about 50 pounds of stuff, carrying our instruments, and we just walked all the way across the Blackstone Valley. And it was great. We had a whole bunch of concerts. We also did a commemorative walk from Walden Pond to Mount Wachusett and did 5 dates out there to help commemorate
the road trail for Henry David's bicentennial birthday, which just passed last week. There's all kinds of events going on for that. If you're into him, this is a really good year to get out and partake in some of that. They certainly all around Walden, they've got a lot going on. That part of the hike was very long and difficult. We were being led, which is a little different for us. Usually we plan our own route and we're in charge of kind of where we're going, and we have our maps. And so for that part of our hike, we had to let go of the reins, and every day we were being treated to a different guide. And some of them had very different styles. The first day our guide was a former member of the military, and he had no problem just charging down the trail and was kind of, I don't know, like absent-minded, I guess, about the fact that we had 50-pound backs on and couldn't really keep up with him at that pace.
Yeah, to really paint the picture for you, it's like for that part of the trek, we would meet at like 8:30 in the morning, about 15 or 20 hikers that all had day packs and maybe a water bottle, and they would meet 5 or 6 of us that had the big 50-pound packs on. And those people really enjoyed walking with us. It was a spectacle at that point, you know. But like Raianne said, some of the people who were leading us didn't take into consideration that we were very tired a lot of the time.
Or they would stop and give us some background on the area, maybe some history, or maybe we'd meet somebody, which is fine. And it was actually quite cool, and something we've often talked about how we could incorporate that into what we do. But after about the 10th time that day that we had done it, everybody's just kind of, you're standing there with your bag on like, please, sir, I can't wait for 20 more minutes with this on my shoulders.
Yeah, this
Can
is
we
a
move
tree.
along?
This
Can
is
we
a
walk
rock.
and talk at the same time?
This is a place where something happened. After a while, that gets kind of...
So this year, at least that part of our hike was definitely a good exercise in patience, and we learned a lot about our personal limits. They were using GPS, so I think a lot of the mileage that they guessed that they weren't really sure exactly how far we were going until we were doing it.
Basically, every day they tell us that we were going to be walking 8 or 11 miles, and by the end of the day, I would have to eavesdrop on whoever was our leader for the day and a National Park Service representative, and they'd go, I think it was actually more like 13. Shh, he's coming. And we'd hear that every day. Now, we have a mantra on the walking tour, always more. There's always more. No matter what you do in life, there's always more.
There's always more.
Sounds like there's a song there somewhere.
Yeah, it's just a...
One day we hiked from 8 a.m. until 4 o'clock.
Wow.
And then we had to perform at 6. Yeah, it was long. It was hard.
But this was the 8th year that we did it, and we had great audiences every night. A lot
It really
of fun
was a lot of
people
fun.
walked with us
I don't
too.
want to downplay it too
Yeah.
much.
But here's another song. We played this on the walking tour one year. It's a list of things that won't be written on my grave. It's called It Won't Be Written on My Grave. It won't be written on my grave that I was idle. It won't be written on my grave that I was young. It won't be written on my grave, but like the lines upon my face, will be written all the same. And it will be written on my grave. And it will be written on my grave. These hands were empty. It will be written on my grave. That these hands were clean. It will be written on my grave. Like the lines upon my face will be written all the same. And it will be written on my grave. And through the looking glass world, like the weatherman's words, roll the dice in the bond that does bind us, like a tug of war, it's tightening, and some are bound to fall to one side. It will be written on my grave that I was frightened. It will be written on my grave that I wasn't scared. It will be written on my grave. Like the lines upon my face will be written all the same. No, it won't be written on my grave. Glass world, like the weatherman's words, roll the dice in the bond that does bind us, like a tug of war, it's tightening, and some bound to fall to one side. It won't be written on my grave. It won't be written on my grave. No, it won't be written on my grave. No, it won't be written on my grave. Like I said before, Doug and I are teaching a band camp. This week we teach teenagers how to work together as a band and play the fine art of classic rock and roll. And it's really rewarding, and we worked with a group of these kids so long now they're graduating high school. We started working with some of them when they were in like freshmen, 8th grade. And some of them work really well with younger kids. So for instance, we have I think 4 18-year-old kids or around 18 and a couple 14-year-olds. And they have no problem working with them whatsoever.
Actually, I think, isn't one of the 14-year-olds kind of a problem? He's like an egomaniac this year.
He's
like, I only want to do the guitar solos. I don't want to play with the guitar.
Yeah, and he
Like,
doesn't understand.
no, buddy, you're the low man on the totem pole. You're going to do what we tell you to do.
Yeah. It's interesting to me because I think, like, it's funny how some people think. You know, I watch kids sometimes and I wonder, like, they're definitely little metaphors for everybody else. When you're looking how they behave, you know, and like this one kid, he's so encapsulated, he just thinks like, so for instance, they were trying to pick the side between like a modern rock and roll song and a Jimi Hendrix song. And they were both really, really easy songs. And when we asked all the kids which one they wanted to do, they were like, well, the Jimi Hendrix song is really, really easy. And he was the only one that spoke up, and he was like, no, that's impossible to do that song. And we're like, how come all these 6 kids here say that this is an easy song, and this one kid says, no, this is the hardest song ever? Well, he was only thinking about the solo. He was thinking about him having to be Jimi Hendrix. We didn't even get to the point in the conversation where we were going to pick who soloed. In his mind, how am I going to be Jimi Hendrix? It's funny how people think. You have to think about that every time you have a conversation with somebody else. Where the heck are they coming from? This kid, that's interesting.
Yeah, we can't build them up too much, but man, he's so funny. I love this kid. I love his enthusiasm.
He played a walking tour show one time. We always have local performers, and we try to get students on stage when we put together these concerts. And this little kid, he did this one thing that I've never seen another performer do. He played 3 songs. They were all cover songs, I think. And at the end of his last song, he actually, his guitar was still ringing and he held it up above his head. And I'm looking at this kid who was 13 at the time and I'm like, how did you do that? That is amazing. Yeah, you were there.
Awesome.
It was pretty amazing. So they're always making us very proud of them and making me feel old after working with them for a while because I'm proud of a teenager, which is like
You feel old?
a new. It's a new level in age. It's a watermark, if you will, being proud of teenagers. We don't have kids, I guess, Raianne and I.
Well, we have lots of kids. We just teach them their lessons and send them back home. It's great.
So this is a song we wrote about the kids one time, and it's called Grain by Grain. When I see you on the stage, it makes me tremble. 'Cause the days they're never coming back again. And time, she's a cruel old song whose notes are just like smoke upon the wind. And time is the sand between your fingers. Grain by time says that old cliche. Go round and the train is bound to go where the tracks do lay. And all the ties were laid, all the mights and the maybes won't swing them hammers back again. If there's a stillness in your mind on a clear, cool night, you'll feign the faintest echo of light. The time is the sand between your fingers. Grain by time says that old cliche. And the hands go round and the train is bound to go where the tracks do lay. Says that old cliche. And the hands go round and the train is bound to go where the tracks do lay. Go where the tracks do lay. Raianne and I first met, we worked at a tool factory right down the street. We worked at Hyde Tools for a lot of years, back when my uncle thought that was going to be an illustrious career for me to be. Nope, not a tool maker. That would be very
I was a
illustrious.
tool maker.
She was a tool assembler.
Mark worked in shipping.
I worked in shipping, so the illustrious job of driving a fork truck got old really, really quickly. And Rand and I would go away a lot because that was when we first started touring. On the weekends, we drive all the way out to like St. Louis, Missouri.
It was
to play
interesting.
gigs.
Because, you know, that's like, you make small talk with everybody because you're working next to the same person a lot of the time. And they'd say, what'd you do this weekend? And I'd tell them and they'd be like, What?
You didn't stay home and watch the Pats game?
No, I didn't.
No. No, we didn't. We drove all the way out to St. Louis, Missouri to play for hardly any people and make no money. So there. It's a really exciting time. That's when we first started learning how to do it, and you have to do that. There's a stupid picture of us playing that show in St. Louis. We performed next to a Playboy pinball machine.
Yeah, if you could just imagine what the reward sounds are like on that machine. It was not.
Oh no, I heard somebody gasp. Oh no. That's totally true. Because we're playing this kind of music and that would happen every now and again. The sounds.
But eventually we started playing so much that we had to leave our jobs at the tool factory and move on to bigger and better things. And I hear that it's on the up and up. It's coming back over there. They were pretty empty for a while. But we do know someone who still works there, and they are starting to bring some of the machines back and some of the people back. So that makes me happy.
It was really a romantic ideal for me at the time to work in a factory in New England. I thought, I can do this. This is going to be great. Because a lot of the people, they were wonderful people. But a lot of the towns like Southbridge and Webster, is where Raianne and I live, they were all built up because of the mills. And now we're at a very weird part in history where we're still living in the same places, but why? Why? It's interesting. Some towns, Southbridge is doing a lot with their mill buildings. Webster's knocking them down to move grocery stores across the street. You know, each town does what they will. But Raianne wrote the song about the mills, and I think it was very much inspired by our time lovingly at the Hyde Tools right down the street. It's called That Old Machine.
Set free. Say all the work has gone away, someplace overseas. How I love that old machine. Cool side the doors, part, now do mine. We'll get that work done in no time. Stitch that stitch and feed that line. Cool side.
all these kids that we keep talking about, you know, there were a bunch of rock and rollers, and a lot of them graduated high school. They all got their first job. This one kid found out he could sell knives door to door for this company called Cutco.
Now all the kids have jobs working for Cutco.
He got them all jobs being knife salesmen. It's the funniest thing to me, I think, in my mind, is all these kids that can shred electric guitars like nobody's business, and what's the job they found? They go to door to door selling knives. Like, I don't want to see you walk around with a knife.
Well, that's cutting edge technology.
It's character building though. I mean, in the music business, you certainly get a lot of rejection and you have to have thick skin, and they're going to find all kinds of that in their new chosen career. Mark says they have their spacesuits on, you know, because some of them have graduated, but they're not going to college, at least not right away. So Mark says, you know, they put on their spacesuit, now they're just, they have to figure it out.
Yeah, you're good. You're good kids. It took me another watermark, if you will, for me anyway, was working up the bravery to sing a love song that I wrote for Raianne for everybody. And last year was the year that we started playing this out. This is a song I wrote for her called The Hand I Hold. Where I'm bound is uncertain. Where I've been is a beaten trail. Where I'll go, be next to you, dear, the one I chose, the hand I hold, my dear. When I'm lost, you will find me. When I go blind, both of us you'll see. When one of us falls behind, you'll be saving place in line till we grow old. We broke the mold, my dear. Where I'm bound is uncertain. Where I've been is a beaten trail. Where I'll go, be next to you, dear, the one I chose, the hand I hold, my dear. Williamson on the upright bass, and Rodney Phillips on the instruments.
We should mention also the Southbridge Cultural Council is part of the reason why we're here tonight. They wrote a grant and they said yes, yes please. So here we are, but I know they fund a ton of programs here and other places in town. So definitely do your part to support them whenever you can.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to play at the library here. Getting to be getting quite the following in Southbridge, Massachusetts. It's our pleasure to play here every year. I always get a rise. My uncle lives right down the street. Where is he? You know, he's
Sturbridge
probably-
and Southbridge, they're really far
I'm
apart.
really proud of all you guys because I bet you, I'm just guessing, because every once in a while we walk by a TV and the news scares the living crap out of me. And sometimes the news will say things like the air quality, they'll show like a graph and it'll be like red. Say the air quality is terrible. And you know there's a certain group of people who won't leave their house that day. One time on the walking tour they had said all day long there's going to be this terrible tornado watch, not even a warning, bad weather watch, and we're like, oh man, no one's going to come to our concert that night. And we had an okay turnout, but I went outside at the end of the night and it was blue skies and sunny. But you know there's a certain group of people that definitely pulled their shades down and like hid under their tables. So thank you all for coming out tonight despite the heat. You guys are brave. And the library here has wonderful air conditioning. This is another song that Raianne wrote called Don't Ever Stop Believing.
She's gonna drive you crazy. She'll make you lose your mind. I know it's hard to make it on your own, 'cause this world can be so unkind, so don't ever stop believing. Don't lose that sparkle in your eyes. You learn how to be on your own. Only on sweet time, on sweet time. It's hard enough to get by, yeah. Now I'm doing just the best I can. Oh, darling, it needs to be
That I can. We already talked about the walking tour, but one year I ran after I think the 2013 walking tour. She sat down under a tree in East Longmeadow, and that's where we had ended up that year. I think we walked from Royalston to East Longmeadow that year. And she sat down under a tree as we waited for our celebratory Chinese food to arrive. And
It was bad Chinese food.
it was a bad choice, really. But we all make bad choices from time to time. But she sat down under a tree and she wrote this song about the walking tour, and it's called One More Mile. Always more.
Yes, there is always more.
How I like to lay my burden down. Just one more mile to go. I've been walking all across this town. It's almost time for the show. Kind people gather round. each and every one I meet, an understanding and a kindness shown, and every time passing beneath my feet. Coming people and gather round, singing songs of our time, and we all have something worth singing about. Common ground within the right. Singing songs of our time, and we all have something worth singing about. It's common ground within the right, a common ground within the right. Yeah, see, Doug had to play double duty there on the bass and the harmonica, the switch on that. It's pretty awesome.
Found a bucket. Worked pretty good.
You gonna wear those to every gig all summer?
Until they start walking away on their own.
All right.
Speaking of which, we just heard the other day, we are gonna be on the Common here in Southbridge, August 20th. It's a Sunday from 6 to 8. So if you haven't gotten enough of us, please come out. And we know a lot of songs, so you might hear some that you heard tonight, but you'll probably hear some other stuff that you didn't hear tonight. And yeah, we love being down there. Steve Ronfeld, who is part of the Parks and Rec department, is really great and wonderful to work with. We just heard that he also is getting some bikes that are going to be available here at the library. So you can talk to the library about that.
So we do a lot of songs that we've written. Rand and I actually have a really good tour opportunity coming up. We're going to be on tour for a month in October. We're first time going touring parts of Canada. So we're going to be doing a string of house concerts in Canada, in Manitoba. And so if you've ever studied the geography of Canada, it's we're all rural farming communities, and we hooked up with this wonderful organization called Home Roots that puts musicians like Raianne and I into the homes of people in rural settings so that they can have their own personal concerts. So we're going to be jumping from town to town, playing about 10 or 12 of those. And we have to drive all the way out and tour through the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, and back. So it's going to be exciting. So we have a lot of mileage to put on the old van.
Yeah, I know just from here to where we cross is 1,700 miles. So it's going to be a long trip.
So we'll be in the car. So we play a lot of songs that we have on CDs over there. Every once in a while we do a cover, and this is one we learned for the walking tour this year. And we'd like to play it with Pete, nice and slow. Ready? No, we can't. He always yells when we play it. So 1, 2, 3.
On the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well. Your father's hell will surely go by, and feed them on your dreams. The ones they miss, the ones you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If I told you, you would cry. Just look at them inside and know they love you. So you, of the tender years, must know the fears that your elders drew by. So please help them with their youth. They see the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well. The children's hell will surely go by, and feed them on your dreams. The ones they mix, the ones you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If I told you, you would cry. Just look at them inside and know they love you.
We brought that song with us this year on the walking tour, partly because one of our students who's in the band camp program this week, he just graduated high school, and part of his condition of graduating on time with passing grades was that he could come on the walking tour, and he did. And he learned that song and played it with us. He played about half of our set with us, actually. And the kid had never been backpacking before. He did do some long walks, like to kind of prepare for the mileage, but I don't think he was fully prepared for the experience that he had. But we have no complaints about him whatsoever. I mean, he hardly says a word. So if you've ever traveled in a group, like that's a great trait to have. You know,
Especially after
being quiet and agreeable.
Some of the people that were leading us talked so much. It was really nice that, you know, when we sing that song, it was really nice. We've been working, Doug and I, Doug is his teacher, was his teacher. I guess
Since
we're
he was
still,
what, like 8?
Doug's been teaching Vito for a really long time, and it was really wonderful to see him from when he was a little kid to singing on stage next to him. And when we asked him, you know, what are you going to do after high school? Are you going to go to college? What track are you going to follow? What are you going to do? Are you going to sell knives for Cutco? And he said, can I go on tour with you and Raianne? I'm like, whoa, that was my answer too. Whoa, really? Hold on a second. But, you know, as it turns out, he did go on tour with us. He went on the walking tour and he performed all those dates and he walked the walk and he definitely took the mileage, and he still hasn't unpacked his bag, and we got home 2 weeks ago. I'm kind of concerned about that because you don't know what kind of dirty laundry we keep on the walking tour.
And I know that it rained the last night and his tent was wet. And we warned him, we're like, make sure you open it up and air it out, because otherwise when you go to find it again, it'll just be like black.
Yeah.
Really gross.
And this is the type of thing you're dealing with people, you know? You can lead a horse to water, you can give him the best advice in the world. But you know what's going to teach him? When he opens that bag. He gets that pungent whiff of whatever the heck comes out of that.
I asked him though if he was going to keep backpacking, because I mean, if you get on trails, there's the whole wide world out there. You can walk all the way from here to Georgia if you want on the AT, and it costs you nothing but your food. And he said, yeah, I think I will.
I might just keep walking. But now he's selling knives, so he's probably going to...
Well, that involves walking. But yeah, I don't know. We might have like another Forrest Gump on our hands.
Yeah. Well, he's a good kid. This song we got to play on stage at the Philly Folk Festival a couple years ago, and we got to share the stage with Tom Paxton when we did it. And he looked at us after we played the song, and he said it was a mighty fine song. So, I don't know if it is or not, and I don't know if he's a liar. I've never really talked to Tom too much. He seemed like a nice guy, but he liked it, and I want to believe that. It's called "Digging Me a Hole."
Digging me a hole, no matter how deep. I'm clambering up a hill, no matter how steep. And I'll find me another at the bottom or the top, and we'll climb out together. I'm calling you a bird, wings you fly. Calling you a skunk to stink at night. I'm calling me a man with hands and eyes, but to use these things, well, I wondered why. Digging me a hole, no matter how deep. I'm clambering up a hill, no matter how steep. And I'll find me another at the bottom or the top, and we'll climb out together. God give me a mouth to speak my mind, or did God give me ears to hear you alright? Did God give me hands to build and to fight, or did God give me an ass to sit? Digging me a hole, no matter how deep. Clambering up a hill, no matter how steep. And I'll find me another at the bottom or the top, and we'll climb out together. 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 And we'll climb out together.
I think we have time for one more song.
We got two left on the set list. Do you guys want like a pretty, sappy love song
The
kind of
other
thing?
one is like that too, though.
Or do you want a sentimental, sappy?
Just like they're synonyms, guys. All right. Why don't we play the first one? Because you sing it. This is a song that this is an older song of ours that Raianne insisted we do again. But I wrote it, I put it on an album. We didn't touch it for many years, and then she said, "I want to do that song again," but she wants to sing it. So that's how that's going to work now.
I sing a lot of his old songs to him, but he doesn't really like it usually.
She remembers a lot of stuff, you know. That sounds like a relationship thing that's like happens a lot.
You get older, you forget things. That helps.
So I already
I've
forgot
heard
most,
too, like
most
it's
of it.
common for partners to like store certain memories in their partner's mind so that they don't have to also. I keep the memories.
She remembers everybody, you know. I do a lot of, and it's genuine. I do a lot of smiling and shaking hands when we play concerts. I have a terrible memory for names and stuff, but if I recognize somebody, the smile is super genuine, and I can remember everybody's face, but the name. So if I refer to you as buddy or friend, that's because I can't remember your name. That's okay though. So the song's called
This is
So
called
Blue.
So Blue.
Thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enough was said about me. You know it's not for you. So go and keep on shouting. What good will it do? No, it makes us sad to keep on standing, to keep on standing up to you for all that we've been through. Down the darkest chute, is no wonder we've been so blue. We make up our beds, lie awake in the sheets, toss until morning and turn unto dreams. Throw back the covers and raise up our hands in promise and prayer. We prepare for the threats, for all that we've been through. Down the darkest chute, it's no wonder we've been so
Thanks a lot.
If you want to keep in touch, we have a mailing us, we will email you once a month, let you know where we're gonna be. We have our albums there, we played a bunch of stuff that's off of there, and hopefully our new one will be out sometime next year when we're done recording it.
Well, we had a chance to listen to it. I don't know. I don't really know what it sounds like. And we also don't know where we're going in Canada for real. We noticed that people are starting to post events from up there on Facebook, and we got one. Like, oh, you might be interested in this event. We were like, hey, that's us. I wonder where that is. And she's like, it's in Manitoba.
We know we're going there, we just haven't gotten our like official, like, this is where you're gonna
Manitoba's
be.
about the size of Rhode Island, right?
Throw a dart. Maybe we'll show up where we're supposed
But
to.
yeah, please come say hi. We'd love to see you again at one of our shows. And keep coming here to the library. They do a lot of great stuff here. And like I said, we'll be down at the Town Common on August 20th. It's Sunday night. So come and chill out in the shade and listen to us. We'd love to have you.
Where are you guys from?
We live in Webster.
Oh, yeah?
Well, we three live in Webster. He's from Upton. Yep, the walking tour went to Upton this year. We got to walk right by Pete's house and play our show and then walk right back to Pete's house. Camp out there. It's really, really fun.
I offered them a ride, but they didn't want to walk.
Before we finish up this evening, if people wouldn't mind filling out a very brief survey, it's just basically checking off some boxes, but it really does help us with the Cultural Council. They have been most supportive of what we do here at the library, and this is our way of communicating back with them, telling them what people really like. And I'm sure by your applause this evening, you obviously loved this band. So it would be a really good opportunity for you to communicate that back to the Cultural Council so that when we put in another application, they may look at it favorably. Thank you again, Mark, Raianne, Pete, and Doug, excuse me. Thank you very much. This was a wonderful show, and everybody, you have a chance again to visit at the Common later on this year.